Well, if you've been in the author world, you know there's a religious war, religious in quotes, going on between people who are hell-bent on continuing the old way of running ads based on interests, even though the interest targets are being taken away. And for some of us, it's still working. And the new way which Facebook is forcing us towards, and which other industries are adopting, and some of us in fiction are adopting that too. But I'm noticing from the comments and discussions I'm seeing online about this, when you tell someone just do a broad campaign, don't put any interest apart from the age and location, for many of us, there is a bit of a fear of unknown. How on earth does Facebook find people if I don't put in the interests that I'm used to putting in? So, for this video specifically, I'm gonna try and go through. We're gonna reason through. It's almost it's a fundament. We're gonna go through a fundamental first principles thinking on how a broad campaign works and why it works, and what you can do, what you can control to make it work, so that next time you're in that debate, you are well equipped to know, okay, this is for me, or this is not for me. Or if you try it and it doesn't work, you will know this is why it's working. Perhaps I've not given Facebook enough data, and this is why it's not working. So it's not about the buttons and the technique. It's about look through as we're going through this video. uh, just look at the thinking framework we are doing. Okay, so I found the reason why I'm scrolling through here. Yesterday I found a book, an image someone shared, and I wanted to use that as a case study. I already did a bit of research, but it disappeared from me. The book is called something nothing, something nothing. If I'm not gonna find you in 2, 3, oh, I'm gonna go to the Kindle design I already found. You did nothing. This is the book. Okay. I found it in a psychological thriller book group, because, and the reason why I took this image is because Facebook is not a e-commerce platform. It's a social platform. So organic native style content that looks like what people who are there for the social aspects are used to seeing on these groups uh, is treated differently from salesy content. Like, did I have? No, I didn't have that. Like just using a book cover. Okay, so this is the book we're going to build a broad campaign for. Okay, this author has not run a Facebook ad before. I don't think this author that I did a bit of research. This author does not even have a Facebook page, I think, unless she's using a pen name. All right, so this is what I did. First off, if you're doing a broad campaign, you are trusting Facebook to find people. So let me show you why some of us, no matter the industry, some of us, especially in the Infoproducts world where we're spending lots of money, have to. We don't. It's not a choice. Have to go broad. When you are scrolling through Facebook, you'll notice the type of ads that are there are almost triggered by what you interact with, and the topics change. Even though I read fiction, there are no fiction ads on my timeline. Invest with Terry, it's about investing. Let's see which other Meta knows I'm constantly tweaking with the ad library, so it's targeting me. Meta for business, this guy, Infoproducts, I'm running ads. So Facebook has known this guy, Gabriel, is into this type of, because I'm constantly clicking on organic. There are people I'm following online, agency owners, people doing infographic, school communities, people teaching people how to sell low ticket products. So I'm constantly interacting with the organic content, and Facebook tested me rather with a few ads, and I clicked on some. School, I've been on school, so my activity sort of influences the types of ads I'm seeing. So if someone, now this is out due to funding shortfall, the World Food Program is forced to completely halt. Now I wonder how they chose to show me, because this is not something related to my activity at all. Maybe it's because I'm in Kenya and they know this might be relevant to me. So this is what the old ad probably. Interest targeting maybe in Africa, development. I don't even interact with development content, so I don't know why this would be relevant to me apart from this guy is in Africa. So now this captures the old school way of doing ads. My mind right now is not here, but my mind is on the other ads I've shown you, on the other topics. But Facebook still showed me this. But that's 1 out of 4 ads we've seen so far. Let's go now. Kajabi, again, Infoproducts, low ticket offers, ads. This is a product I would use, so it's relevant to me because of my activity, not because I have an interest. I've liked Kajabi, or I have an interest in that. Now, physiotherapy. Now, I have, because I'm sitting a lot working on the computer, I have a piriformis syndrome. That's something with the hips, and I have pain in my shoulders. So I've constantly been looking up these people who are doing the physiotherapists, organic physiotherapists, or fitness people posting this type of content. But Facebook was not showing me ads. There are, I think, three brands that I see their ads, even though I interact with lots of organic content. But they saw my behavior and then tested me with one ad. I clicked on it. Now I don't buy. I've bought once from YouTube, but I have not been buying this type from these types of ads. I look at organic content mostly, so I'm sure if I bought one, I'd see more of them. But this is again from my activity, not from my interest. I've not liked anything to do with fitness. I've not followed I've followed fitness pages, so we could say yes, they could categorize me as someone who is into fitness and fixing joint problems. But my activity influences the ads I see. Now look at this. This is irrelevant to me. Kenyan 20-day flat tummy challenge, local meals, simple home exercises. Okay, now let me tell you why they showed me this ad. I'm constantly looking at people who are selling things, trying to sell things to me through Facebook, and I probably clicked on one of the ads here, and it's almost like a swarm. When you if I clicked, it's not a big company, so I'm not gonna click on this and cost them money to show you this. But if it was a big company like IBM, or in Kenya we have Safaricom, that's the biggest telco, I'll click on it without any guilt. And what you'd see is it's almost like a swarm. The moment I click an ad that talks about diet, flat tummy challenge, you will see almost immediately Facebook will start sending me more of these types of ads. So it's almost like it has activated me, like robot terminator, robot activated. Okay, this guy is into this, let's show them more and more and more. It's almost like bucket 1, bucket 2, bucket 3. Bucket 1, I'm looking at Infoproducts, digital marketing stuff. They've been targeting me with that. Okay, bucket 2, this guy clicked on an ad that deals with meal plans, diet, and all that. So he's only clicked on one in the last 7 days. Let's test it with one and see how he behaves. Even, you see, this time I'm sitting here just talking, and this ad, I'm spending so much time. This ad spends so much time on my screen. Probably Facebook is taking this as a signal that might be interested in this. Perhaps they want to show me more of this. Now, again, you see the type of ad. Stop guessing your ad budget. This is because of my activity. So, for fiction too, the reason why, this is my theory, the reason why, even though some of us are readers, are buying books, we don't see Facebook ads, because to Facebook we are dead. We have not shown any activity apart from interacting on 20 books to 50k and talking author stuff, business stuff. We have not given any signals to Facebook to tell us this guy reads fiction. So once we activate that bucket, Facebook will respond. Now, that is one of the reasons why some of us have decided to go broad. It's like Facebook is relying on so much real-time data that it's like, okay, let me just tell you who I want, and then you can look through the billions of users you have and what they're doing at that time and decide who to show the ads to. So the main job for us, and that is the foundation of this video, the main job for us is giving Facebook as much information and signal and direction as possible about who we want, and let it do its thing. Okay, so if it tries, and for example, that meal plan ad, Facebook has seen that I stopped on that meal plan ad. If it tries and sends me data, an ad once, twice, and I don't end up buying, because I'll not buy, to be realistic, it needs data to know whether this person is the right person or not. If it's the right person, it continues showing those ads. If it's not the right person, it does not continue showing ads. So in our campaign too, you will find that you will need to give data back to Facebook, and that is a challenge for those of us advertising fiction, because we are only telling Facebook, hey, give us traffic. We're running traffic ads, not sales ads. Give us traffic to Amazon. Now Facebook shows an ad to someone and they click on it. As far as it's concerned, it's successful. Now that means from time to time it will mess up and send us the wrong people. Now there are in times like that, there are moments where we will have to interfere with that and right the ship, because the way we run our campaigns is not typical to how Facebook designed it. So just have that at the back of your mind. All right, when you are running broad campaigns, there are points where, because Facebook does not get purchase information or add this person added to cart or purchased, it might be stuck in loops, and there are times where you will need to cancel campaigns. Okay, now that you have the foundation of that, of what broad campaigns are and why we are forced to try our hand at that. Now, okay, this is just a by the way, but you see this content, this is organic content, right? This is how organic content looks like in a feed. It does not look like an author trying to sell me a book. I would love to use such a creative in an ad. I bet if used as an ad, this would work really, really, really well. Anyway, that's a by the way. So let's start. So the first bit we are doing is a traffic campaign. All right, I'm sure my internet will take 1,000 years. Oh, it's better, maybe because I'm outside. Manual traffic. I don't want any of Facebook's automation. Facebook, I don't want your automation. Should we name it test campaign? The book is called You Did Nothing. You Did Nothing by I think it's C.W. Drews or something like that. So it's a mock campaign actually. It's not a test campaign. All right. Now, for this approach, there are two. If you're new to ads, there are two main buckets when you're doing ads. It's either you control the budget at the campaign level, or you control here. This is where I am right now. Either you control the budget at the campaign level or at the ad set level. The main difference is when you can. Okay, before I go into that, look at this campaign. This is an ad set. This is a campaign. This is an ad. This is the big bucket, smaller bucket, smallest bucket. Now, this is the main campaign. I can have 2, 3, 4 for as many ad sets as possible. Now, if I'm controlling the budget at the campaign level, Facebook decides to allocate budgets between the different ad sets. So if I have 5 ad sets here, and I change something in the 5th ad set. Something I've already talked about Facebook not getting enough signals, and we'll at some point we'll have to interfere and change and pause things. Now, if I interfere with the 5th campaign and the budget is allocated across all the ad sets, changes on one ad set affect everything else. So when you do campaign budget optimization, and you're doing multiple ads and multiple ad sets, it's a bit sensitive. And from the way I'm designing this thing, I need the freedom to tweak things and isolate data. Okay, so I'm not gonna use a campaign budget. I'm gonna control. It's called ABO, adset budget optimization. The campaign is campaign budget optimization. So for this one, adset budget optimization, you'll know why just ahead. All right. So is it a special categories? Now for some people, if you're doing if your positioning is emotion and you're trying to wind up people to get people to buy your books, for example, if you're doing political action thriller or revenge thriller or things that hedge on controversy to attract attention, sometimes Facebook will think you're running social elections or political campaigns, and it will restrict you. So for some, if you find that's your style, that's the style you're leaning towards, and you find you're being restricted, there's a chance, for me, I've done this, you will have to get authentication to run elections or social and political campaigns. Even though you're doing fiction, but the sentiment you're creating is related to that. But for us, for now, let's just click next. This is the book, by the way, will be just a minute. This is the book we will be creating a campaign for. You did nothing wrong. 454 reviews, CG drews, actually, not CG, not CW drews, CG drews. And the weird thing about it is it's not being classified into any category or subcategory, which I usually like, because there's a bit of digging I like to do in those subcategories. But this one is just this number 74,000 in the Kindle store. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Where are we? Okay, now we are at the adset level. Okay, so now the adset level, that's the second bucket. The adset level contains the major things here. What the goal for your campaign. Okay, what am I? It's traffic, yes, but what exactly? Are you running traffic to the website? Are you running traffic to an app? Are you running traffic to Messenger, because you're trying to get Messenger conversations, or calls, right? So for us, it's website. Now, this is another religious thing. There are some authors who swear by the old school way is maximize, where is it? Number of clicks. This was the traditional way we were doing things, right? Now Facebook introduced maximize number of landing page views, which is a bit more. It waits for the page to load on Amazon and then classifies it as a page view. If it doesn't load, it does not record that. When we were doing maximize number of clicks, Facebook did not care whether it loaded or not. So long as someone clicked, it counted that as a successful click. And so just naturally we'll get more of that, and just by sheer volume you'd get your sales, you get your ROI. When you're doing maximize number of page views, just be prepared, it will be a bit more expensive because it's counting the wheat and the chaff. Okay, so the people who click and the people who don't wait for the page to click because the internet is slow and they're tired, they're not counted here. So you'll have to test this for yourself and see if it works or not. For some people it's working, for some people it doesn't. Like for everything here, it depends on your book, your genre, sometimes just on Facebook. All right, so there's nothing is set in stone. Value rules, I'm not going to go into that, but for people like romance authors, you need to learn more about value rules. The budget, so those are the things you're covering in the location and the interest targeting. Now this is the part where this is the whole point of our ad, and then advantage plus audience. So now this is what is being paired with broad campaigns. You are trusting Facebook to find people. Now let me not jump ahead. All right, so another part that is important is placements. Okay, this is where Facebook decides to put your ad. It's almost like ad inventory. If it's a shop and you have specific shelves, these are the number of shelves that Facebook has that they are willing to sell to you because they know audiences are here. Audiences are spending time on the feed, audiences are spending time on reels, the audience network, the right side. So each placement performs differently, and uh, you have a choice now to decide which is which. Now, because of this, because of Advantage Plus audience, the more you try and restrict Facebook, you'll notice it's charging you more. Okay, it's charging you more. So if you give it freedom, now I'm giving the almost like the manifesto for the people in the broad who are advocating for do broad campaigns. The more you give it freedom and you give Facebook the opportunity to maximize and find you according to the goal you've selected, find you the thing you want. Is it an audience? Is it a call? Is it a website visit? The more you give it freedom, Facebook automatically, the hope is Facebook spends money on the platforms that are working for it. So sometimes maybe the people who are buying books who are helping you achieve that goal are on the audience network, which is rarely. Let me not even say that they're on the feeds, or they're on the on reels, or on Instagram. So the hope is for Facebook to find that audience where it is at that point. Because again, at the start when I was scrolling through my feed, you saw what was what. Sometimes Facebook is using real-time information to decide information, attention is here, attention is there, let me switch things here, let me switch things there. So that is the whole the reason why I'm rambling about this without building the campaign. Yes, and the campaign, we are the mock campaign. I want you to get the foundation of why this religious discussion is there. So okay, let me go to the adset. So for this one, if you're doing a broad campaign, you're gonna choose website. That's your goal. Let's use the traditional one. Maximize number of clicks. All right. All these, ignore this. Facebook does not know your niche. Does not know. These things are stupid actually for some of them. What did they say? Update your performance goal to maximize number of landing page views to deliver ads to audiences who are most likely to visit your website. Landing page views no longer require meta pixel integration. Right, so even if you use Amazon, it can still figure out if people are landing on that page. So they are educating you. So they're trying to push us towards landing page views. So you could ignore it, but if you have the budget, test that too. This one, I have used this to correct campaigns that were not working. So if, for example, you know that you're getting 20 cents per click, okay, that's your cost on average. Out of 6 months, out of 1 year, you get 20 cents per click, and out of every 20 people that click, you get a buy, and that's like what, $4 or $3 per book. So you know your goal is per click, right? And things are not going well, you can say cost per result is 20 cents. So Facebook will optimize for that. It won't go beyond that. So you can be free and know, okay, even if I'm sick, it's not going beyond this. So it corrected my campaign before, and I got results, and then it went haywire, and I had to turn it off. So know when to use things like this. When your campaigns are not going well, these are the places I'll be going to. Cost per result goal. But for a fresh campaign, you're starting from scratch, that is a point to ignore. Okay, so if you are doing value rules, the reason why we do a broad campaign is to let Facebook find who it finds, and then Facebook will feed us data on who is the right person. So Facebook will give us data on the genders that are buying, the age ranges that are buying, the placements where we're getting buys from real, and this is found in there's a window or a feature called breakdown. The breakdown, whatever it is, chart. Whether, so if you, for example, if you're doing romance, you are new to it, you don't know, but your data will tell you women are the people clicking on the thing or clicking and buying. Okay, so you would go here and say create a rule. If you're doing romance, this is, in fact, if you're doing a romance ad, do this from scratch. Gender, women, no, actually do men, decrease bid by 90%. So that ensures that the ad is only shown to men. You're not restricting Facebook and telling it to show to women, because it resists that. Either increases your costs or sometimes ignores your suggestions and just gives it to whoever it wants to give it. It does not allow me to create it because I've already created it somewhere, and I named it gender. So you will save that. That's what you will do on your, if you're doing romance. Okay. For the rest, just let it be. Let the gender be. Facebook will know who to show the ad. Now, that is if we're talking about the broad campaigns, right? Dynamic creative, ignore that. It is dead. Yes. So the budget, depending on your currency, $5 a day. That's like 6,000 in my currency. Now, this is a part where give it like I usually like to give 4 days to evaluate, because the first campaign is a test campaign, and the main aim of the first campaign is to figure out whether the ad creative works. It's not to get sales and scale it as people want to scale after 2-3 days. The main aim of the campaign, especially for the first 7 days, is to scale. And I usually like to put it at 3 or 4 days for the first, and then I'll come back before it expires and expand it to 7 days. Now, so for here, start date is today, set an end date. Yes, Facebook wants you to do 14 days, but actually, you see, this 14 days, even though I usually don't do this, 14 days is when you will know whether an ad objective works or not. It's enough time for it to go up, go down, go up again. So for some of us, when you start a campaign, you'll get immediate success. Then after, on the third day, almost like clockwork, no matter the budget, no matter the industry, no matter the niche, it starts to tank. For you'll see this over and over and over and over again. Now, for those of us who cannot afford to keep on losing money for days, we will turn it off. But if either your budget is low enough or you can afford to let it go, it will self-correct, and within 7 to 14 days it will correct. If your ad creative does not work, it won't correct, it will tank. So in 7 days you will know, okay. So for those of in so those people in the people I'm usually I like following for data, because they see lots of data, are people who run ad agencies, e-commerce, Infoproducts, and you will see some of them only evaluating performance after 14 days. They've given the platform enough time to optimize, especially if you're doing broad campaigns. They've given the platform enough time to figure out who is the buyer, especially if you're using a new account with no past history. You need to give it enough time to do this. That's why I usually like low budget for the first test campaigns, so that you don't have itchy fingers and want to turn things off. So this, I'm not gonna do 13 plus 4, 17. So let me put it there. Okay. Increase your budget during specific days or time. I've never used it, but I would like to experiment with this, because I can already think of how I would use it. There are campaigns I've run, and on Sundays, there are times that are almost like magic times. Between 5 a.m. in the morning and 9 a.m., that's when I used to get most of my purchases. And then lunchtime, 12, 1, and then in the evening, up to 8. Past that, I was not getting anything. So I would love to do something like that here. And that only comes at a later date when you have the data. So yeah, if you don't get the hint by now, you need, at the end of, if you're running broad campaigns, you'll need to use the number one, learn how to read the reports, and then use that data to make decisions for further campaigns. Okay, now this is where the broad campaign comes. Audience control. Facebook is trying to get us to use their, let's see what they're trying to do. Actually, this is what they're trying to do. They allow me to do location. So let's say I'm doing US. Most of us will be doing US, right? United States. With the Olympics, I wonder whether it will interfere with performance. I think so. What is happening to me? I don't. right, that is selected. I'm gonna remove that. So whatever country you're in, I think that would be the default location. So add the target location and then remove your, you can't remove your original location before you add a second one. So add this, then remove your original. You see what they're trying to do? Unknown edge, minimum edge. They'll only allow us to do it up to 25, I think. 25 minimum. And for some niches, you'd probably want 45. It's frustrating you. This is what they're trying to drive us towards. If you at the foundational level, you see they want a big range so that they have the freedom to experiment, but we don't have the money for it, even though we are running broad campaigns. That's why you will need to go here and switch to original audiences. So yes, they're trying to tell you up to 9%. You get yet up to 9.7% lower cost per result. Let our advanced in case you didn't know, technology automatically find the audience for this campaign to help improve performance. And then they tell you, okay, we know you don't like us, but you can still set limits to control who can and can't see your ads. You see, so this is they know we are complaining about this, so they're trying to give you controls. But oh my, how comes? Just a minute, let me pause this. I need to switch location. All right, so use original audience. Original audience. Original audience. Original audience. Alright, this is what we need. Okay, so let's say you are doing they should allow us to have a wider, you see they stopped it at 25 in the previous one. Here you can have a higher minimum edge. So let's say you're doing a genre that's a bit much. So let's say 30 to 65. You're doing, oh, actually we are doing this is not hypothetical. We're actually doing a campaign for psychological thrillers. So from this book, when you get from the group, from my activities in the group, the people reading these books are not 18-year-olds. So let me put it at 25. They are, I think, through with college. Maybe they have a job going. They can afford a bit. I'm giving it a range. I know it wants range. I'm giving you range. Include people on WhatsApp whose ages are known. No. All genders, yes. If you're doing romance, I already created a value rule. So just let it be. Let it be, okay? You can change it to ladies, yes, but it won't listen to it. So let's say for psychological thriller, for this book, it's both genders. But if you're doing romance, you would need to put it at female plus the value rule that tells it to decrease bids to men by 90%. Okay. All right. Now this is where the other religion, the interest religion, they want search for Nora Roberts, George R. Martin, George Nora Roberts. Who is the? I don't know why her name skips my mind. The category queen of psychological thrillers, The Handmaids. I know her name. Who is the category leader in psychological thrillers? She's a doctor. What's her name? What's her name? Oh, it's not even her. Frida McFadden, yes. So ideally, if the interest people would want to do this, Nora Roberts is not even there, right? Comp authors, she's not even there. Okay, so for us, we are not gonna put anything here. Okay, no interests at all, no demographics, no interests at all. Just let it be, okay? But we are gonna direct, instead of this, we're gonna direct it in the creatives. So that's all. Gender, age, location. Gender, age, location. Gender, age, location in the ad set level. So when you're doing broad campaigns, majority of the action is moved from the ad set level to the ad level. Ad set bucket to the ad bucket. So here you're just doing that. I think we are almost done, and this is where now I would after I do the ad level, I like to come back here because there's a bit of knowledge I like to pass on with the placements. Now, placements don't allow Advantage Plus. Scroll down, show more options. Just look for an option to turn it off. Just a minute. Placement rules, Advantage Plus. Click on this Advantage Plus placements. Okay. An easier way to find it, just click Control F and then Advantage Plus. Actually, it's just a plus. And everything will light up. Turn it off by choosing your placements. By choosing your placements. Just a minute. Dismiss that. Oh, actually clicked away from that. Go to manual placements. Advantage Plus placements. These are use. Where are you disappearing to? Where are you? Where? Okay, I'm gonna read it to you to show you what Facebook is trying to do. Use Advantage Plus placements to maximize your budget and help show ads to more people. It's about the inventory, actually, to more people. Facebook's delivery system will allocate your ad set budget across multiple placements based on where they are likely to perform best, and that is based on the behavior, real-time behavior we showcased in the first activity I did. Okay, so I like to remove audience. This is where the bots are whenever something is not going well. So manual placements, there is an placement called audience network. I usually let where are you, this one, no matter what, even if they hold a gun to my head, I'm not letting it show anything here. On days, if you, because I'm an advocate of just let Facebook do its thing, but on the days you let Facebook do its thing and you go to the breakdown and check, on the days that you get lots of clicks and nothing happening, more likely than not, audience network is usually on, so I usually turn it off. Okay, threads. So for me, even if I let all these go, you will notice Facebook will only spend here. Facebook 99% will only spend Facebook and Instagram. But I know people want a bit more control, so you can do that and you can do that. But even if you don't, I'm telling you, even if you don't, and then go to the breakdown and break it down by placements to see where your budget was spent, you will see that Facebook is spending on the right places. Unless there are a few days when things are not going well, you will go and see, oh, there's overspending here, they're overspending there. Okay, so we're gonna go. Don't touch any of these things. Don't touch any of these things unless you see too much money being spent on a place that day, on days that are not giving you any results. Then you will change that, but otherwise no. Okay, so one alternative is this. The other alternative, I'm not even gonna mention it. You're gonna use value rule. So you could tell Facebook, decrease audience. Let's say you're not getting any buzz from Instagram, but you still wanna give it a bit more room to show your ads in different places. So you could tell it, decrease the bids on Thread and Instagram by X%. Okay, but I don't do that. But that is an option for you. So we're gonna go to the next one, and then we're gonna go to the ads bucket. This is where all the action is now. All right, now you're going to come here, choose the page you're running your books from, create ad, yes, manual upload, yes, single image or video, that's what we're gonna choose here. Turn this off, multi-advertiser ads. It tells you your ad can appear with others in the same ad unit to help promote discoverability. They're trying to find inventory. Okay, so your ad creative may be resized or cropped. I do not want you there. Destination. So for this one, it would be the Amazon link, right? For those insisting on using attribution links, do your thing there. But for this one, display link, I like to use the display link just to make things a bit neat. Amazon.com. You can leave it like that, or just do slash. What's the name of the book? You Did Nothing. You can even do this genre, because you're selling the genre, right? Psych thrillers. Browser add-on, none. This is when you add a call button, WhatsApp button. No. Now add creative. Image ad, yes. All right. What will it take to make you believe? More power from the sky, another part in the sea. They want media. All right, now this is where the magic happens. Now I'm gonna pull back the curtain on what I did before this. So I went to Goodreads, and do this for yourself. Or if you don't have, if you're just starting out, go to the reason why I was disappointed that Amazon did not show me the subcategories here. They would have told me number X in psych thrillers, number X in women's fiction, is this. If you're starting afresh and you have no idea what sells, what tropes are working, what readers are looking for, what readers hate in your category, go to your category queen. The not even number one. Number one sometimes is a book that's been made into a movie, so it's a bit atypical. So go to number 3, number 4, number 5 books in your category, and then just go to Goodreads, not Amazon. Goodreads. Scroll to the bottom. Right now, the ad creatives is king. You're doing broad campaigns, so the only way you're giving directions to Facebook is through the ad itself. So just load as many as you want. So for this one, this book already has reviews. So what I did is just copy all the reviews. I used to do sentiment analysis before AI on Twitter. You would scrape tweets, and then there was a sentiment analysis software before AI, and it would classify the emotions. Is it negative? So for example, if there's been a controversy by a company, they would go on social media, they'd scrape reviews like what I'm doing now, and then they would analyze the sentiment. Is it negative? Is it positive? Is it neutral? So that's what we're gonna do here. So you copy, go to your AI tool of your choice. So if you are not a user of AI, just go manually and then try and find. I have a prompt for AI, but for the people who won't use AI, I'm just going to explain it to you so that if you're going through manually, you know what you find. Go to the reviews. So this is my prompt. Extract me the this is called voice of customer data that I'll use for running marketing campaigns to figure out these are the things I'm trying to figure out. The super fan type of reader. Remember, this is a broad campaign, but you are telling Facebook to filter out the super reader, the super fan psychological thriller reader, the readers who are in that group we were clicking through. Okay, now the genre expectations. These are things that when a reader who reads that genre, when they see that, they will click because they know, okay, I'm trying to see this. I want twists because it's psychological thriller, right? It's horror. I think this book is a mixture of horror and psychological thriller. So spookiness, those are the things. Tropes. Romance people are great at identifying tropes. Other genres are sleeping on tropes. So as you're going through the reviews manually, those are the things to look at. The emotions. Now, this is a philosophy I've adopted from my nonfiction world. There's something called no, ignore that. Anyway, emotions. So a book. When I used to send a cold email, I would try and figure out what is the problem this person I'm sending a cold email to is experiencing, and how do I provide value. Now, if I hit on the right buttons, this person would click on my email. They will open it and they'll reply. So this is if someone is struggling, is hiring sales development representatives, and he keeps on firing them every 3 months, that is a problem they would respond to if they saw messaging either on social media or on email that talks about that. But when you're selling fiction, it's not about problems or value. The equivalent of that is the emotion. Someone is there to sell a certain emotion, to buy a certain emotion, to experience a certain emotion packaged in paper. So look for that. Or if you're using AI, tell AI, find the emotions. A book's main value is to sell a given emotion packaged in paper for the reader. Okay, so possible hooks and angles I can leverage. Hooks and angles are, it's hard to explain without showing you, but if you go to a reader group like this, you will see hooks and angles, the things that stand out, the things that people share about a book. And these are, let's just go through it. You'll see twists, best book you've ever read. You'll find hooks in posts like this. What sticks out, what hooked, what brought people onto the book. And voice of customer data usually has this information. These guys are just sharing the topics. They're not saying why they liked X, why they liked Y. But it's easy to find that type of data from the readers themselves. They don't, in that post, they're not telling us why they love the books. Now, this is, you see why I'm using AI, because it takes lots of time to do this manually, to look for. You see things like this. This is a hook. It was sick. For some people, she says very interesting. I wish he would have got more at the end, but I had to skip past all the murder. It was sick. Now, for the right reader, this is the type of stuff they want to read. So it was sick. Could be a hook. All right. So this type of data is in the review. Let's see. A little over halfway through, and it keeps on getting weirder and weirder. Weird in psychological thriller is a hook. It's an emotion someone wants to experience. So that can be used in ad copy to find people who are looking for that emotion. Now, you're telling, the review says find me comp authors or movies, and the gap the book is feeling. I don't have time to explain what gap selling is. I think I have a video for that. But gap is mostly, you create for you to create momentum, to hook, to pull the reader, you need to create a gap between the current state and the future state. So for them, the deeper part is, I'm feeling bored. That is my current state. The future state is, I want to read a weird book. I want to get lost in an expansive world. That is the gap. Now, that is the inner gap. The outer gap is when you're in the blurb or in the image, you create a scenario where the current scenario for the character is, she's settling in a small town after a life as an assassin. That is the status quo. Then the future is, something happens, there's a gap in between. between this current state and the future state. So something happens, she has to run away from the small town she's hiding in. Now, if a reader clicks away from that book, they experience loss, the gap, they experience loss of not experiencing how that gap turned out in the book. So I put that, all that plus the reviews, and told the AI, hey, extract me the voice of customer data. This is what you need to watch out for. Now, in this book, you did nothing. The AI found this in the reviews. In the reviews. All right. I like how it. So now you would need to use your own judgment here to figure out what is what. The super fun type of reader from the reviews. Now, remember, if you are new to this genre, you would be doing this with the category leaders, so that you know, okay, this is the type of reader I am looking for. Now, the more if you do that for 5, you'll have that bit of information and store it somewhere as your ideal customer profile. All right, now you'll be using that to direct Facebook, even though it's a broad campaign, to direct them to direct it, the algorithm rather, to direct it to find the right reader. Okay, so the visceral experience. Readers who want to be deeply unsettled. So these are the type of stuff I usually just like to. It doesn't need to make sense to me, but I know the feeling. I'm telling you, the book is about feelings, right? So this is the type of data I usually like just to put there so that I can use as fodder when I'm writing ad copy. Broken-hearted. I won't use everything. I don't want all the fluff around it, just the specific words. Angry. These are emotions, right? And to feel angry. They use phrases like deeply unwell, jaw dropped, broke my brain in the best and worst ways. I like this. This could be used in ad copy. I could say someone said this book broke her brain in the best and worst ways. I still can't figure out why, but here, read the first chapter. Readers looking for gritty and unvarnished representation of neurodivergence and overwhelming unspoken anxieties of parenting. And I don't see how I can use that. Prose and craft purists. This is about writing quality, nothing to do with selling a book for me. People who love addictive, strong words, high tension pacing that forces them to lose sleep. Ooh, that is something. Action verbs, action words, action phrases. I lose sleep. High tension pacing. All right, genre expectations. Oh, again, the reason I'm going deep into this is how you are, instead of interest targeting, now this is how you're directing Facebook. The book sits perfectly at the intersection of domestic suspense and gothic horror. I like this. All right. You're telling Facebook, find me people who do domestic suspense and horror, gothic horror. Readers, the stifling atmosphere. Readers expect an intense claustrophobic environment. Yes, this is a mainstay of psychological thrillers. Claustrophobia. Sense of impending doom. I wonder why people love books with a sense of impending doom. That would be an opening line to an ad. And then you keep on going on and on and on, and then you pivot to actually selling the book. But you're selling an emotion, right? But because you know the emotion is a genre expectations. Books that have an impending sense of doom. The slow burn to chaos. The plot must start slower, atmospheric, and gradually ramps up. Unraveling the family from inside and out. It's not strong enough for me, so I'm going to ignore it. Untreated trauma. No, I'm not going to use that. Now, so this depends on your own judgment. If you struggle, if you don't have the experience of doing this, now you can let the AI do a bit more of heavy lifting. From this report, then you can help it. Write me an ad copy for this, and that, because it already has the data. So if you're a bit experienced, you can do what I'm doing here. The tropes. Now this is easy because it doesn't require, you can just list them out and list them out in the book. unreliable narrator, the sinister fixer-upper. I don't think that's a category. That's a trope per se, right? That is specific to this book. Now that is a weakness with AI when it's doing this activity. It may take things that are specific to a book and then think that is a trope. Being stuck inside a twisted, manic, desperate mind where the reader cannot trust the surroundings, family, or the narrator. Is explaining what an unreliable narrator is. The creepy child. If I saw that in a book, I'd be, okay, I like to see that. Hey, who reads books with creepy children? Who loves a creepy child book? That could be a first line. I'm talking about the reason I'm saying all this. Those are hooks. First line, space, and then someone clicks read more. Too good to be true husband. I like that. I can see how that could be used. It's a trope. A seemingly sweet, devoted golden retriever husband with secrets. A golden retriever husband with secrets. Is this big enough for you to see what I'm typing? With secrets. I see you, you see me. The secret laden past. A protagonist running away from a terrible childhood or bad situation overseas. Emotions to use in ads. I told you, emotions are the thing packaged in paper, the thing that people are paying for. Visceral dread and anxiety target the feeling of being completely uncomfortable, tense, and easy from the very first page. The things that would repel others attract others. So someone will say, I was uneasy from the very first page. Loved it. So for you as a third party person reporting on this, you could say readers are uneasy from the very first page of reading it. That's why they love it. Strangely, because I'm appealing to genre people, psychological thriller people. So I'm marketing the genre actually rather than the book. The addictive pull of a train wreck unfolding where the reader hates the characters but is entirely riveted. This is another opening line to tell Facebook the type of people. It's almost like a genre language. If you open a line with one of those books where you hate a character and specifics, not characters, a character. Make it one person they can picture. One of those books where you hate a character but are entirely riveted and you can't get enough. Help. That's a hook. One of those books where you hate a character but are entirely riveted and you can't get enough of them. So you could pivot from here to talking about the book or introducing the character or the trope or the gap. When XYZ does JKL, this happens. That line could be here. This is a bit more of, I'm going deep into copywriting. I know you might be, for some of you might be confused here or wondering where I'm heading with this, but you're working with data and trying to find angles, hooks. So all these different angles will be different types of ads. Use AI to help you with that if you're struggling. If you're not an AI person, follow what I'm doing. So possible hooks. Let's see what the types of hooks AI came up with. Maternal anxiety angle. Sometimes the scariest words in horror are "everything is fine." Ooh, I like that. Or was that really a review, or was that something AI came up with? I wonder. I now wonder. Mm-hmm. You see how much time I'm spending on copy, because this is everything. This is actually the foundation of the people struggle with only with coming up with creatives, and you only have one. When you do something like this, you have all these are different angles, so you actually have more than you can use. Start with the data. If you do not have your own data, go to the category queen and figure out their reviews. This public information. You can scrape it, you can dig into it, you can study it, you can become an expert in someone else's audience, because you're marketing. Remember, you're marketing the genre, not your book. You're marketing the genre, because Facebook does not care or know anything about your book. It's trying to find genre readers, or readers who, because genre it's almost a package. It's packaged as genre is emotions, or situations, tropes that appeal to a specific type of reader. Dark romance readers and cozy mystery readers. I think their minds are wired differently, and think different things appeal to different people. And your job is to help Facebook figure out who is in that mindset at that moment. And this is what that is for. So an example of a hook: proceed with caution. This book will reach into your chest, rearrange your insides, and leave you deeply unwell. Are you ready to be devoured? Now, I've noticed that when you tell when you tell AI to write you a hook or a first line, it usually goes into infomercial type of language. Second person, do this. This is the best book. Now, you can use what it take. You can take what it gives you and then change the tense. Change the tense either as if like proceed with caution. You could either phrase it like you are reporting a conversation you've had with someone, but you can use this too, but just from my own preferences. Let me not just say that I'm thinking objectively here. From my own preferences, I don't usually like to use second person when selling a book, because I'm feeling like it's infomercials. It's an infomercial type of feel. But that's why we are doing adset we're setting the campaign budget at the adset level. You could have a salesy infomercial type of ad copy for that audience who's ready to buy when they see that. And then you could have another ad set that's a bit more social, just you're introducing people who've never read that genre, and that copy is on that level. So that's why Facebook is telling you, give me as much creative as possible, give me as many hooks as possible, because it's trying to find you people. And the more the way I like to explain this is this. I have body issues, knee pain and all that. If you're experiencing knee pain, you're experiencing knee pain in different ways. One person will be experiencing knee pain in the morning. When they wake up, they can get out of the bed, but in 30 minutes of walking around, they're fine. For some of us, when it's cold, we're struggling. For some of us, when you walk for 30 minutes, we're struggling. For some of us, when we sit the whole day without any physical activity, because the muscles that need to be active are not active, so there's a lot of strain on the ligaments. You're getting pain. So if you are selling if you are a physiotherapist, for example, and you're selling a knee pain thing, and your framing is buy this thing to help you with knee pain, or buy this thing to help you with knee pain in the morning, you're only finding people who are experiencing the problem in one way. All right. But if you do all these things I've listed, give ad copy, ad creatives to capture all these people, you're giving Facebook the opportunity to find you different pockets, and you help it almost find inventory where it would be limited otherwise. So that is the whole foundation of the broad targeting. Facebook is telling you, please give me enough information and let me find you different pockets of people who are experiencing this problem or want to experience this emotion in different ways. Okay, now let me not spend too much time here. Comp authors, it listed the comp authors. TV shows: My Haunted House, Monster House, Haunting of Hill House. That's a Netflix series. Now, if this is a recent series, there's probably chatter on Facebook about it. To watch groups, people are talking about it, so Facebook would know how to find those types of readers when you put this. Okay, now the gap the book is filling. The emotional inner gap. Readers are looking to escape mundane or comforting narratives. They possess an appetite to experience controlled, extreme emotional distress, trauma, and a sense of absolute claustrophobia. Now, this is why there is a saying that when things are well, people go for darker books. When things are a bit dark, like right now, some of us go for lighter books because we're trying to fill a certain gap, whether we know it or not. The technical gap. Readers want a domestic thriller that refuses to play nice. They are actively seeking a story that matches realistic, blah 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 blah. No, I'm not gonna use that. Uh, Now, persona demographics. Now, this is important. Dark fiction devotees. These are already readers who are looking for dark fiction. Primarily women 22-45 who actively seek out horror, dark thrillers. These are keywords that would help Facebook find the readers for you. Extreme psychological suspense. Okay, so I'm going to put that in our sheet. Boasting that they have zero triggers. Now, this could be an angle. If you have zero triggers, then this book is for you. There are people who say, yeah, I don't know, I have no triggers. So such a copy would attract both people. People who have triggers, and they say, what are the triggers? Let's see if I can read this or not. And people who say I don't have triggers. So the ad angle, first line could be, if you have no triggers, then this book is for you. But if you have them, here's what you need to watch out for. And then you list the triggers, because triggers are almost like they help sell your book to the right people. So it attracts people as well as repels people. Audiobook multitaskers, that's another group. This is interesting. The neurodivergent or parental community. Mothers and neurodivergent adults who want to read about the raw, unfiltered, and sometimes ugly thoughts associated with motherhood, isolation, and handling high needs behavioral outbursts. Now, the reason why I like this is not an angle you would think about if you're selling a book, but that could be an ad set. Number one, you know that even though, let's say, the psychological thriller interest group is not there on Facebook as an interest, you know on Facebook right now, people with neurodivergent kids or neurodivergent adults are talking about it. They're sharing as an ADHD person, this is what I'm experiencing. So there is chatter. Facebook can identify them easily because they are on the platform. Now, tapping into that, if you can tie that to fiction, that is a new bucket you could open up, a new bucket of readers who might not necessarily be readers. But if you have an audiobook that is almost like a gateway drug into books, that would be an angle I would be curious about exploring, and have it as a separate ad set, and see how it performs. Now you have all that information. This is the ad copy I created. So I took the image. This is, I think, a screenshot from Goodreads, and then I just created this background on Canva, and then put it there. So when someone is scrolling on Facebook, it does not look like an ad. It looks like something they'd see in a reader group. And then the ad copy would do things like this. So they'd see the image first, and they'd go back to the ad copy. So imagine they've seen this first, and then they see, if you have no triggers, then this book is for you. Or you could say, then this psych thriller horror combo is for you. I think it's a gothic horror So you are pairing. Now here is a different. This is I made this really overt in how it communicates to Facebook on who it wants, just to pass a point across. Psychological thriller readers. I'm calling out who I want. Quickly, come here. Another one. Emoji, because it's a social platform. I don't want it to seem like I'm reading. Empty space, and then a tiny book version so that the reader zooms in. So this is not typically how we do ads, but it's something you might see. I've spent lots of time in readers groups, and they like to use this. I think it's a Facebook feature. Text on a plain background. So this is the style I'm playing upon, and for variation, you can do different background colors. You see, you can do red, etc. Now, go just a minute. We're going back to the ad, to our ad. You upload your image. Ad says also add creatives. I already downloaded those 3 images. I'm gonna upload them. I only miss you when I'm breathing. I only miss you. Now, all this stuff and the data we got from the reviews will help you come up with angles and image ideas and copy. The image is 80% of the ad, so I focus on the image first. But on the image, I try and put in text so that I can utilize text there rather than the primary text. The primary text is just, some people don't even click on the primary text on the ad. They go right to the image and click to the landing page or not. Now this is a new feature on Facebook. Before this, you would select one image, and I used to do this. Just create. Okay, I almost forgot. We talked about placement, right? Facebook is trying to find inventory. Now do this. It's trying to get you to give multiple images. Now, most of us are resisting that. But one way of doing that, giving it choice, but not choice at the same time, is do this. This is 4:5. That is the aspect ratio. 4:5 can be used across multiple placements on Facebook Reels. It looks actually bigger on the feed on mobile, so it occupies more space. But do this. Create the same image on Canva, resize it. 4:5 image, that is 1080 by 1350, that is 4:5. And then resize it to 9:16. That is 1080 by something something. I'll have to check. 9:16, and then create 1:1. Same thing, but just resized, so that you give it different sizes where it can use it for different placements. Let it decide. So I would feed it all that, and I'd also feed it for 9. If you're doing mobile, if you're doing desktop ads, I'd also feed it data for here, for the right. I had worked out the aspect ratio for it. I just can't remember. The right side, there's usually ads showing up here. I think something is up with my internet. There are usually ads showing up here. Okay, so you can also add that. But I usually didn't like to do this because I assumed they wouldn't give me the performance data. But I checked on the last one I ran. They tell you how budget was spent across all these ads, so that you know this is performing, that is not performing. But before this was my approach. Okay, this is concept 1, right? The image. This is also the same concept: image with a background, image without a background. Okay, so that is the same concept. So I'll add them there. Primary text. What's our first line? The first line is the hook. That is everything. So I'm gonna just use this. Of them. Then I'll say psychological. I usually have trouble spelling psychological. Thrillers, thriller readers, and gothic horror readers know what I'm talking about. So that is the first line, and then I leave space for them to click read more. One of those books you hate, where you hate a character but are entirely riveted, and you can't get, because it's mobile, I'm optimizing it for mobile, so the lines are small for me, and you can't get enough of them. Psychological thriller readers and gothic horror readers know what I'm talking about, and then you can go on about the book. But for me, you notice that my focus is on selling the genre first before I sell the book, selling the category, because I'm telling Facebook, find me people who are in this category. It is easier for Facebook to find people who are in a certain category, parents with kids, parents with struggling with neurodivergent kids, than finding readers who want psychological thriller books which talk about neurodivergent kids. That is so small, and it's too big of a job for an algorithm. So for me, I'm like, okay, lead with a bigger portion, which is the category, and then I'd pivot to the book on the rest of the copy. I'm not going to go into that. That is the easy part. But this is the hard part for me. This is the part I'd say spend time on. These are different. So option 1, option 2, what is the other one? I'd say I use this way. Readers are uneasy from the very first page of reading this, but strangely they love it anyway. But strangely, guess who's back? What is happening? They love it anyway. And then I'll actually explicitly mention the genre or the tropes. Trop, genre mentioned, genre. So I'd say readers are uneasy from the very first page of reading, but strangely they love it anyway. And then I can pivot and say something about the book, like what was the first line of the blurb? Single mother Elodie's life has become a fairy tale. She met Bren, equal parts golden retriever, devoted and sinfully handsome. He whisked her and her autistic son Jude to the crumbling family house he's renovating. She has a new husband, a new house, and a new baby on the way. Everything is perfect until Jude claims he hears voices in the wall. So let me pivot to the book. Where is my odd? Copy that. I'm making it conversational. Her husband why are you let me not even do this. Facebook as a text editor is terrible. The shortcuts I'm used to using don't work there. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna work on it here. Her husband, actually gonna use golden retriever It's a trope. Husband whisked. That's an action verb. Her to renovate a crumbling family house. Now her daughter claims, oh, it's a son. Her son claims he can hear voices in the walls. That line, it's simple, but it tells you, it sets the expectation for the. It contains tropes. It contains hints about the genre. So it does a bit of heavy lifting without telling you much about the book. What did I do? Oh. Her golden retriever husband whisked her to renovate his crumbling. I'm making her the victim in a way. The husband whisked her, so that you already care for this lady, and then I widen that gap. Now her son claims she can hear voices in the wall. I've already created a gap between the status quo. She was somewhere safe, and then her golden retriever husband. That's something. Shows you there's something to unpack there. Whisked her to renovate away. I forgot to say away. Whisked her away to renovate his crumbling family house. Now her son claims she can hear voices in the wall. Alright? The status quo was this peaceful. Now this husband, golden retriever husband, whisked her away to renovate his I'm specifically putting responsibility on the husband. Crumbling family house. This line already, depending on what someone's life has been, can uncover a lot in someone's heart. So if someone has had a relationship where the husband dragged her into things that turned out bad, they'd relate to that emotion. All right, and Facebook is full of that sentiment. Now her son claims she can hear voices in the wall. Okay, so that part already, you are creating a gap, a new status quo. It's when someone clicks away from this, they don't get to see what happens here. All right, so the rest is not important. You can figure it out later. But for us, for this video, I'm gonna use that. The headline. The headline, I usually like to just reinforce the genre. What were the tropes? Actually, the review, the blurb has a lot that we could use in the headline. Dark domestic suspense meets house horror. I like that. I like that. Again, I'm talking to people. If you looked at my primary text, it's about talking to people and Facebook at the same time. So this one is also talking to people and Facebook at the same time. Dark, romantic, domestic suspense. Someone reads that and they read that book, they're like, okay, that's my type of book. Facebook reads that, they know, okay, I'm looking for someone who reads dark domestic suspense, or they're in that mindset. Haunted house, people who, you know, they don't even have to be talking about books, because probably they're not talking about books on Facebook, but this type of vibe can be tracked to their account, so Facebook would know people who are in this mindset. All right. Description. Now this is a shout out to Melissa Storm. I saw a technique that I liked that she uses. So she makes the first line, what was this, I'm not sure about this part, but from I'm not sure about whether she uses this technique the way I use it, but the source was her. Let's send it there. But from how I use it is, let's make the first line something that makes sense to the reader. Okay, so something like let's go back here. Unnerving XYZ guaranteed to keep you awake for days. Okay, unnerving. I don't care about using adult and debut in the book. It does nothing for us. So I'm gonna use the genre or the tropes. What are the tropes that we learned here? Unreliable. Come on, again. The Facebook text editor is not the best. So unreliable narrator story. That's a trope. I know the type of readers I'm looking for. Guaranteed to keep you awake for days. Afterward. All right. So that is a line that would make sense to a reader, right? And then this is what I will do. The line that comes afterwards, it allows you to put in 250 characters. How comes it does not allow me to space it? So I'll go to my favorite AI and tell it this. I use the description field on FB ads as a CEO like description to tell the algorithm what and who I want. So the first line is usually something the reader can read and it makes sense. Facebook shows that to them. The rest, 250 characters in total, 250 characters in total, can be SEO like things with comp, authors, emotions, people are reading, are looking for, demographics, psychographic, that's the psychology, psychographics, tropes, comp movies. I need you to write me that description. Okay, start with this line. You have the reviews and the voice of customer data, so you will nail it. You also know the name of the book and genre. Let's see what it comes up with. And then I'm gonna put that in the look at this. So the first line is something someone can read. Unnerving and reliable narrator story guaranteed to keep you awake for days afterward. And then gothic horror domestic suspense thriller. Fans of Shirley Jackson, Gillian Flynn, VC Andrews, Flowers, Attic, Hereditary, autism, mom, anxiety, trauma. Now this is not how I would structure it, but yeah, I did it. Autism, mom, anxiety, trauma, dead tropes, creepy house. That's almost like SEO keyword stuffing. But I usually edit this to make it a bit more readable. This is too short. I usually write is it 250 characters? I usually fill this with lots. I'll have to check whether it's 250 characters or not, but I usually have a longer one than this. I usually fill it with comp authors, who is demographics, psychographics, all that. And then if the ad is a book that shows you it's salesy, you're telling people this is a book I want you to read, I would have the call to action something like learn more. Okay, if the ad does not look like a book at all, it could be just plain text on a plain background, right? So I would put shop more, because the opposite of what it is, because I know there's a chance it would if something is not bookies, let's just a plain text, like I hated my husband, but when he died, something changed, that would attract all types of people. But if I put, so that means my call to action needs to be the opposite of that. I'm actually telling people this, hey, this is not just something you're clicking on, this is a book, shop now. All right, so I like to balance that. So for this one, the ad image is a book, right? So I'd put learn more, because you're doing broad and Facebook will find all types of people. So I'm trying to figure out how, without, if my ad is not letting people know from the get-go that this is a book, I'll tell you this is a book with shop more. If my ad is the opposite of that, I'll let it slide a bit. I'll soften the sell with, if it's a book, learn more. Don't not buy, learn more. So you could play around with all that and see what works for you. And then I used to hate this part, but Facebook has gotten better with creating options, AI image options. And sometimes I add these, because the more creatives you give it, the better. More creatives that are have tiny variations of what your ad is for. Uh, they give it more. You see this? This is the original. Oh, you see? This is something I could use. So I'll select that. Come on. It's getting better, people. I know we don't like this, but variations help. What did they do here? Oh, interesting. They changed the background image to be handwritten note. I'll add that. It sticks out. Come on. I like it. I don't like that. Book on a shelf. It's a bit too much. If the background was plain, I could have used that. Yes, I like that. I like that actually. I like that. You see what they did? They made they took aspects from the Amazon aspects from the book and added. So it's a book on a shelf, yes, but there is reviews, Goodreads reviews, but it's Goodreads instead of Goodreads. You need to download those and edit them yourself. That's what I actually do. Just download it. Do this to download. Copy image or save image as what, and then take it to Canva and edit it yourself. So this is your free way of getting different variations, and then add it to your ad manually. So just take a concept you like. No, not bad. So I'm liking what Facebook is doing. Same concept. So I had 2. Now we have how many? 4 selected. No. Anyway, let's go on. Don't want a rabbit hole. You're doing broad things. You've directed Facebook to find you a certain audience. Now you're trying to create as many variations of that concept as possible. So that's why I'm embracing the AI imagery. I'm embracing choice. Give Facebook variety, choice. And even if you give it 10 creatives, eventually you will notice that the winner will be one or two, right? But when you suddenly remove, let's say 5 ads are going, if you remove one, the low performing ad, sometimes you'd notice that the ad that was performing tanks, because Facebook was using them in sequence. See this, then a tiny variation of that, and then because you notice that Facebook is even targeting and retargeting the same people with ads. Yes, I don't want you to do videos. I don't want you to do videos. This is the part we will skip for now. Did it select videos on its own? Yeah, it selected videos. What, are you crazy? Unselect these. Unselect these. Unselect these. But if they worked, I would put them there. Actually, no. Sometimes I like to separate the video campaigns from the image campaigns, especially for when I'm testing. But when I'm feeling, let me simplify it, okay? Just don't add the videos for now. I'll do another video to explain how I think about videos and why I think they should be added. But just to simplify it and so that I don't confuse, I usually add these 3 things: music, visual touch-ups, and animation. So I think Facebook knows this and just turn those on. The translation part is what I don't like. Oh, alright. So at least they made this simple. There's a time I searched for this button for hours. Alright. Now you have your ad, your broad ad. All the targeting, all the options are here. In the ad creative, the image, the copy, the description, the headline. I only use the hook, but just the hook and then the normal book summaries people put in ads just would go here. Okay, you can even separate them by 2 dots just to for a visual breakdown, and then talk about your book. So that is what we have. Advanced preview. Now you'll see the different placements and how they look. 4:5 works across placements. That's why I like it. Look at how it looks on the feed, Instagram feed, Facebook feed, Instagram stories. This is the image they added. Yeah. Don't take 1,000 years to load, cause we are waiting for you. I know money is rarely spent here, so don't be shocked. You're sending ads to placement. No. So good. But they sing while working, so I'd had to be my desk person seated next to me in an office. So good. Look at this. This is the headline, I think. Domestic. So all that works. Save. And then, because Facebook is naughty and likes turning things on its own, I usually click on review, and so that you see all the settings and the weird things turned on and off. Partnership ad off. No partnership ad. Threads. Profile. Creative source, manual upload. Format, single image, URL. That's it. The pixel. I have a pixel. You won't have a pixel. You won't need a pixel. Advantage Plus, the enhancements, show summaries, add music. This is on. Now I think they turned this stuff off, so I'll need to go back and turn it off. Multi-advertiser ad. Now I think I only turned on 3, so I don't understand when they're showing why they're showing all of them. Let's see. Let us see. Legacy. Oh, they only selected 3 out of 5. Turned off overlays, text improve. I never like text improvements, because you see how much effort we put into our text and our tropes and our hooks. I don't want AI playing with that. Visual touch-ups, yes, because sometimes plain text images are animated and they can work on reels. Add music, yes, I don't mind that. So that is the anatomy of a broad campaign, and it's not just about buttons. You know why we've built it the way we've built it. Okay, now even though it hasn't now I want to show you something. This will not find everyone. This will find people, but that's one bucket actually. This ad set will find people who are readers of psychological thrillers. The it won't find people who haven't read in 6 months or 1 year. It won't find people who don't read in that genre. So you know, creative A finds audience B. That is the job of that creative. Okay, now you evaluate it that way. If you create another ad set, for another creative, just be sure in your at the back of your mind, no, this ad is meant to find what off genre readers. So this is what I like to do actually before I forget. One ad set, right? You want to find different people. So this is ad 1. You do this, duplicate original setup. Remember I had two the ads are looking for readers of psychological thrillers, on genre readers of psychological thrillers, but there are two concepts. The first one was this cover book, big book cover, Amazon Goodreads reviews. So it's overt in telling you to read. That's concept 1. Concept 2, actually let me search for it. This is how I find it. And the part where I'm allowed to edit the media. I'm not finding it. I want to edit the image. I want to change the image, not even edit. And select another image. Manual upload, single image, destination, display link, add creative here. And then you could run with this lyrics off of this pep, change selection. I need the data. Deselect, select this one. The copy is the same, but the image is different. The concept is different too. So Facebook will send they're in the same ad set. Facebook will send the first ad to people who are readers. Facebook might send these psychological thriller readers, quickly come here, another one. Facebook might use this ad and that ad, almost like a 1-2 combo. It might send this one first and then send that other one. Now this is the technique I used to use before they added the feature where you can add multiple images here. So I'm yet to decide whether I'll keep using this or I'll add I'll add multiple images in the same ad. Okay, so I used to do this. Everything I keep as is, but you need to check, because sometimes they try and turn on the okay, they're gonna create variations of it. I'm gonna pick some of them too to give it a bit more to work with. So in one ad, let's say it's $5, we're gonna have two different creative concepts to avoid fatigue, with variations in the same ad set. So Facebook will have the choice. It wants choice, I'm gonna give you choice. But they are related, almost like cousins. I know if ad one is selling, I know people who are more attuned to the Goodreads or how Amazon looks like will find that ad appealing. If a text ad like this works better, I'd know, okay, let me see. Let the ad creative dominate the image. No, let text dominate the image more than the book cover. I'd say, okay, let me use that. Oh, I like this variation. So it's about, the foundation is I'm trying to give Facebook as much variety as possible while keeping the data narrow. It's almost the same ad. I'm calling out readers. It's not about vague. I'm actually calling the genre readers. I'm not talking about the book in detail. Uh, so even if I give multiple variations, it's still the same concept. It's not giving me the preview I want. Okay, I like this. It's a bit ish. I like to take this to Canva and add a bit of noise. Come on. It doesn't want to preview the large image. And I'm liking some of these. Get back. Ooh, ooh. I need you to. Let me say that. I like that. Is it a romance? Why are there roses there? Oh, there are roses in the cover. I like that. Oh, okay. Was I pressing on the wrong? I like that. I don't like the rose part. Psychological thriller readers, quickly come here. I like the aesthetics, the dark mood. So I'd pick that. I'll pick that. I don't like the roses, but it calls out the audience, so I don't think I'll attract romance audiences. What is this? AI fingers, no. 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 No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, okay. I think I have enough. I think I have enough. I think I have enough. Skip. I need 3 enhancements only. Yes. Translation. Turn off translation. Yes. Alright. Now, one ad set, multiple ads. Facebook decide who you give it to. Okay. So there is very little risk for ad saturation when you do it this way. Same concept. Each concept I have 3 versions of this, almost the same concept. So Facebook has all the data it needs. Okay, launch that thing. I think that's all. Hopefully, I haven't confused you, because I realize I've been jumping all over the place, but hopefully I haven't confused you. And now, if you want to do the broad campaign, there you go.